talk to you real quickly on what the POW MIA table means. I'd like to take this opportunity to remember the incredible cost paid by those who gave their all to help preserve the freedoms we enjoy, those gallant individuals who fought and died for our country. Yet it is in remembering our fallen comrades that we are reminded of those whose fate is still unknown, those still missing in action, and those that are still prisoners of war. More than 78,000 Americans are still unaccounted for from World War II, 8,100 from Korea, 120 from the Cold War, 1,810 from Vietnam, and 3 from the Gulf War. These courageous Americans who dedicated their lives to preserving and protecting our freedom should never be forgotten. And that the part about always remembering them, we wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for what our servicemen have done for us. I don't think Hitler would have allowed us to be here today. Though no one is able to trace the history of the POW MIA table to its very beginning, it is believed to have originated by the river rats during the Vietnam War. Once the war was over, it is believed the tradition continued stateside as a commemorative to the fallen comrades as well as the men who are still missing in action. It wasn't long before the tradition became part of each military branch. Over the years, the table has evolved and there are some slight differentiations that exist between the tables set by each military branch and by each place that has one. Most of us have been deeply touched by the loss or of an unknown whereabouts of a loved one who served in the military. We go about our daily rituals and little thought of those who died in combat, those still listed as missing in action, or even those who may possibly still be held as prisoners of war. One day should not be dismally overshadowed by such atrocities. However, we should never forget the sacrifices made by our military men and women, and especially those and their families who gave the ultimate sacrifice of their life. The table is small, and it's placed in the honor of the members of our armed forces that are missing from our midst. The table is round, signifying there is never any end to their search because the circle has no end. Remember. Always remember. Thank you, gentlemen. Next, we have the white tablecloth. The table is draped with a white tablecloth, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. Remember. Always remember. Thank you. Next, we have the place setting. The table is set for one, symbolizing the frailty of our prisoner against his or her oppressors. Remember. Always remember. Thank you. Next, we have the base. There's 2 items here, but we do them both at one time to make it a little easier. The single rose placed in the base reminds us of the families and loved ones of our comrades in arms who keep faithfully awaiting for their return. Remember.
Always remember.
Always remember. The red ribbon tied so prominently on the base is reminiscent of the red ribbon worn on the lapel and breast of thousands who bear witness to their unyielding determination to demand a proper accounting for our missing. Remember.
Always remember.
Thank you. The candle. You have to hold it in just, there you go. The candle is lit, symbolizing the upward reach of their incomparable spirit. It is reminiscent of the light of hope which lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home. Remember, the yellow ribbon placed on the candle symbolizes our continued uncertainty and hope for their return and our determination to account for them. Remember. Thank you. The slice of lemon. The slice of lemon placed on the plate reminds us of their bitter fate. Remember. Thank you. The salt. There is salt being sprinkled on the plate to remind us of the countless tears of those who have never came home, and the tears of family and friends whose grief has no end. Remember. Thank you. The Bible. The Bible serves to remind us of the comfort of faith in God offered to those who face seemingly insurmountable challenges. And it also reminds us of our country being founded on the principle of one nation under God. Remember. Thank you. The glass. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us because they are not here. Remember. Thank you. The American flag. The American flag reminds us that many may never return and have paid the supreme sacrifice to ensure our nation's freedom. Remember. Thank you. The chair. The chair is empty, for they are not here. Remember. Thank you. And lastly, the chair cover. The chair cover symbolizes that members of our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and Merchant Marines that serve their country's call and are missing from our midst. Remember. At this time, if any of you have a glass or you want to find your glass, we'll drink a toast to our missing POWs and our MIAs. A formal toast. Please bring them back home, dear Lord.